who is head of FEMA, didn't even know that the United States has a hurricane season. That was one of the things FEMA employees spoke out about, and those people have been placed on administrative leave pending an investigation.
Are you on? Which side are you on?
The president of the AFL-CIO, Liz Shuler, released a statement on the state of the unions last week. The AFL-CIO does this in the run-up to every Labor Day. Here is from their press release. President Shuler shared stories from the AFL-CIO's 40-plus city It's Better in a Union Fighting for Freedom, Fairness, and Security bus tour. Her speech included accounts from veterans fired from their federal government jobs and immigrant workers living under the mass deportation agenda. Some of the people deported or detained by ICE include firefighters in California. I mean, absolutely just insane stuff that the administration is doing, as well as the historic union organizing and contract fights across the country. Alabama got a shout out there that those nursing home workers that I mentioned earlier in the program were also mentioned in her State of the Union's address. She described the Trump administration as a government of, by, and for the billionaires and stressed that the Republicans are not going to save us, Democrats are not going to save us, working people are going to save ourselves. The speech also debuted new polling conducted by the AFL-CIO and the David Bender research that found that trust for unions is 20 points higher than trust for either the Democratic or Republican Party. Nearly two-thirds of workers trust unions, while every other major institution, including political parties, the Supreme Court, and religious institutions, are underwater with working people. And among those on-the-edge voters who are most worried about their ability to make ends meet, raise their families, and retire securely, 75% see unions as their best shot at a decent life and a retirement with dignity. The address also kicks off Workers' Labor Day Week of Action, during which the labor movement and allies will host nearly 1,000 events across the country in the fight for what workers deserve. So you can check that out on YouTube at the AFL-CIO's YouTube channel. And it is, the headline for her address was "The State of the Unions is under attack and fighting back." And under attack is really the name of the game, I think. I mean, just in the last week, we had the Trump administration cancel a wind project that was almost 80% finished. 80% finished, killing 1,000 good-paying union jobs with the stroke of a pen. And so, like I said, we talked about this a little bit last week.
Now, I'm sure all those folks who still love to bring up the Keystone Pipeline
never going to
really
bring that up
concerned
again.
about this, right?
Either they're never going to bring up the Keystone Pipeline again, or they're going to be equally as concerned about this cancellation of this wind project. And it's so short-sighted even on their own agenda. Because if you look at their, America's AI Action Plan, which I've had to read for work, they really want to see the success of these data center rollouts. The data centers are already consuming something like 1% of all electricity generated in the United States. It's something ridiculous, and that is expected to quadruple over the next 2 or 3 years. And so the idea that we can just cancel wind projects and be able to power these data centers is ridiculous. Trump just eliminated collective bargaining rights for more federal employee unions, including those at NASA and NOAA.
Hey, 5 seconds. Just wanted to say that this is only possible because of our donors. If you want to see more of this, then consider donating yourself at tvlr.fm/donate.
And, you've got, just in the last week, EPA workers who spoke out against bad actions that the administration was taking being fired. FEMA workers who were speaking out against the illegal actions of the administration. I mean, I didn't realize this. It is the law, and this was passed after Katrina, because Katrina was bad, The response to Katrina was terrible. After that, Congress passed a law that said the person who leads FEMA must have experience in emergency response management. The guy who is head of FEMA didn't even know that the United States has a hurricane season. And so that was one of the things that FEMA employees spoke out about in their letter to Congress. And those people have been placed on administrative leave pending an investigation. I mean, one of the things about working for the government that is different, supposed to be different than working for the private sector, is that working for the private sector, you can be fired for criticizing like the public actions of your company, right? You do not have a free speech right to criticize your company unless it pertains specifically to your working conditions. But, just the company's actions generally, if they're supportive of Black Lives Matter and you don't like that, or vice versa, they're not supportive of Black Lives Matter and you don't like that, you don't have a free speech right to criticize the actions of your company. You have a free speech right to criticize the government, even as a federal employee. You are supposed to. And so, trampling on free speech rights, trampling on the rights of workers in a union workplace, ripping up contracts, de-recognizing unions. And then the White House has the gall to release this proclamation on for Labor Day, which, I guess you got to do this for every holiday or whatever. But it's so, reading this literally makes my blood boil. This is the Trump. From the earliest days of our American story, our nation's future has been molded by the skill, determination, and unwavering resilience of the American worker. True. From the earliest settlers, weird, who laid the foundations of a new nation, to the innovators who built our railroads, steel mills, and skyscrapers, America's greatness has always rested in the strength of its workforce. This Labor Day, we honor the proud legacy of America's workforce, and we pay tribute to it. We pay tribute to the unbreakable spirit that keeps it strong 250 years later. The American worker is the beating heart of our economy, the foundation of our strength, and the living embodiment of the American dream. And every honest citizen lives the instinct to work, build, and create, an instinct seen in the welder, the nurse, the trucker, the farmer, and the machinist. Every job, every shift, every hour worked by millions of talented patriots today adds another stone to the foundation of our prosperity. Tragically, in recent decades, a corrupt political class allowed our manufacturing base to decline, our jobs shipped to distant shores, our industries decimated, and our communities weakened, all while building up foreign competitors at the expense of American workers and families. Manufacturing jobs have been lost over the last 3 months at a similar rate as federal government jobs. Just keep that in mind. Those days ended on January 20th, 2025. Every day, my administration is restoring the dignity of labor and putting the American worker first. We are making it easier to buy American and hire American. Not true. Breathing new life into our manufacturing cities. Not true. And securing fair trade deals that protect our jobs and reward our productivity. We're going to be talking to Lori Wallach about the trade stuff next week. We're amassing hundreds of billions of dollars in tariff revenue and ensuring that every product, blah, 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 from our heartland, let's see if there's anything. Yeah, it's just so, I don't know. The presidents do this for every holiday, but it's so gross to see this as he is attacking workers in the federal government and outside of, building trade members on the wind project. It's so gross to see. It's, but, Liz Schuler said, the state of our union is under attack and fighting back is what we need to do.
That's right.
And so,
that's right. And even if you don't have a contract, even if you don't have a recognized union, where two or more workers gather in the name of solidarity to advance their collective interests, you have a union. Don't forget about it. Don't let anyone tell you otherwise. We can fight back, and we have to. We don't have a choice.
That's right. You just saw a clip from the Valley Labor Report. We are live every Saturday morning from 9:30 a.m. till 12:30 p.m. And we pride ourselves on keeping all of our content free to everybody so that we can talk to as many working folks as possible. If you support the work that we're doing, you think that it's important, you think that it's good, then consider making a monthly contribution to the project, and you can do that on our website, tvlr.fm.